Hello, hello. Happy Saturday night, and we are gonna craft. Hopefully I get some people joining me. Oh, there's some people. I see you. Hello, hello. Please jump in and say hello in the chat. I would love to hear from you and see who's here. Okay, Cheryl says hello from Sauble Beach. Perfect weekend to stay inside and scrap. I agree. I was outside today though. But I am happy to be at my craft desk tonight. Hope you're staying warm. Yes. Well, like I said, I was outside today. We went out on our snowmobile this afternoon. It was my first trip of the season. And I was really on the fence about going. But I decided I would suck it up and go. And I did. And it was great. And so we got some fresh air. But now I am happy to be at my desk, ready to craft. So tonight we're going to work with the Simple Stories card kit from the Take Note collection. I have never done a live with a card kit from Simple Stories. We sell a lot of them. I know our customers really enjoy them. And I thought this was the perfect opportunity to make some cards for my stash and to show everyone how to use it. So, hello, everyone. Are you crafting along with me tonight, or are you just watching? I really encourage people to craft along, but if you're just watching, that's okay too. And I don't even know how this Saturday night thing is going to work, but tomorrow evening we have a family dinner. We don't ever have anything on Sunday nights unless we're racing. But my husband's father just turned 92. And his mom's birthday is February 14th. And then they are celebrating their 70th wedding anniversary. So we got the whole family together and we're going to be going out for dinner. So I can't miss that. So I thought, you know what, I'll reschedule and we'll do it Saturday night instead. So if Saturday night didn't work for you and you're watching this on replay at some point in the future, that's the beauty of YouTube for sure. And hopefully you can craft along then. But for those of you who are joining me live, just watching, too cold in the basement to craft. Well, yes, you need to get yourself a little portable heater. Christine, I'm crafting along with you. I'm working with Simple Vintage Junk Drawer. Okay, are you making cards, Christine? Because they have a card kit for that. I was going to put some links in the chat because if you don't know what these card kits look like, let me just pull them up here. Well, first of all, I have stuff on my desk here. Let's talk about this first. So this is what I did in my live the last time, episode 6. We were trying to work on something a little cheerier and get through this. Oh, wonderful, Christine. That's awesome. Try to get through these winter months and days doing something cheerful and fun. So this is the card I cased from, who was that I cased that from? I should have looked that up. She does some designing for Tailored Expressions as well as Waffle Flower. And I was excited to make it. So I was just recapping this. And if you missed the live, we still have this available on our YouTube channel. We have a playlist just for our Craft and Connect videos. So you can look up the playlist and you can see all the videos that we've done there. And you can watch the video on that. I had just come back from a crafting weekend and I was absolutely zonked. So the fact that I made it through that live was pretty amazing. So I did make one card when I was away on the weekend, and then I made 2 additional cards live that night, which worked out good. And I noticed that my ink blending was quite a bit lighter on this set that I did live than I did here. So I was clearly tired. And this is the stencil that we used. So I was going to put the link for that stencil here in case you missed it. We just have a couple left and it's a fun one for sure. It makes great rainbows. So that is, it's just going to pop up in the chat. So that is the link for the, what's this called? It is called Arched Rainbow. And it does this beautiful rainbow design, which you can incorporate into all kinds of things. And you can even change up the colors of your rainbow as well. I've seen some really nice baby cards made with a rainbow design, so that could easily transform into that too. Makes great friendship cards, all kinds of things. So I thought I would throw that there and just sort of recap what we did last time. So that's that. And now we're going to move on to this. So this is the card kit that I'm going to be working with tonight. This is from the Take Note collection, and we're going to throw a link up for you for that because you guys are going to love this kit, and I just know people are going to want to know where to get it. So I'm just going to throw it up here in the comments, and that is for the Take Note one. Now, Christine said she's also working on a card kit from Simple Stories, but she's using the Simple Vintage Junk Drawer card kit, and I also have some of those in stock, and that is the link right there for those. So that's the junk drawer one. And then we also have in stock the Say Cheese Classic Poo Baby. And so there is a card kit for baby cards, and it is so sweet. So I'm going to throw that in there as well. Now, if I was smart, I would have made a little slideshow and I could have showed you the images of those too, but I did not think that far ahead. So those are the links for the card kits we have in stock. Many of the Simple Stories collections have these card kits available. Not all of them, but many of them do. And so if you've got a favorite Simple Stories collection, you could always inquire with us. And if we can get the card kit for it, we're happy to bring them in. So these card kits are really cool because it kind of takes the design work and the guesswork out of everything. Everything coordinates together, but you can also switch things up, which I might do on a couple of them tonight. I don't know. It depends how creative I am. In my email that I sent out, I said, I'm not a person who likes to stay on the path. So who knows where I'll end up going when I start crafting. And oftentimes too, we get chatting with people and they have an idea and I think, ooh, that's kind of cool. Let's try that. So I could deviate from the designs here, but I might do some of them exactly the same. Now, the nice thing about this one, this Take Note one, is that it's a very generic themed one. So like obviously this Simple Stories Say Cheese Classic Baby Winnie the Pooh one is going to be very baby themed. So all your cards are going to end up with sort of that baby theme. But this one here is nice because if you do it just as it is, you get something like just a reminder that you're amazing. So that's, a very generic type of card that you could use for many occasions. Wishing you a picture perfect day. Just a little note, your story. I think it says something about just the beginning at the bottom. Sending a smile. Sending a little happy your way. Friends like you make the world brighter, and with all my heart. So as you can see, very, very generic themes that you can make 8 cards and pop them into your stash and can pull them out really easily to send out to people because, if you want to send this, just a note one could be just a note for because it's your birthday, or sending you a smile. Maybe somebody is having a bad week or going through a rough time or something like that. You can send that card out, sending a little happy your way. Well, same sort of thing. This could be because it's your birthday or because you just got a raise at work or because, I don't know, all kinds of things you can do. That's a pretty generic one. And then who doesn't want to send their friend a card from time to time? And with all my heart, maybe somebody is going through some sort of maybe a divorce or maybe they got fired from their job and you just, you want to let them know that you're thinking of them and that kind of thing. So there's lots of reasons to send cards. And this is a really generic one. So I love that. Now I'm going to open this up and I'm going to show you what's inside. I already took mine apart. So this one I'm going to be putting back together and it will be up for sale. But I just wanted to show you how the kits come, like what the components look like when you open up the package, because it says all this stuff is included. And I just want to show you how it looks. before I dive in. So you get this, let's pull that off. You get this really cool like cover sheet. All the contents are inside here. So this cover sheet is what kind of wraps around for the packaging. So on the front, you get kind of a close-up view of all of the cards. So nice and big and easy to see, which for my aging eyes is a good thing. So it allows you to really see those details nicely. And then on the reverse side, it kind of shows you all of the things that you get in the kit. And just for reference, you know, it's a good thing to have. So that's what the cover sheet kind of looks like. And then also inside, you're going to get like sort of a point form instruction sheet for all 8 cards. So it gives you a picture of the card and then all the things that you're going to need. So there's one side and there's the other. So that comes as part of the kit as well. And then you get a sheet of chipboard die cuts. So you have to pop those all out. Now this is a fairly lightweight chipboard, but it's heavier than cardstock is. So it's kind of nice to have the mixture of regular cardstock die cuts and then also the chipboard ones as well. There is no adhesive on the back of these, so you have to add your own adhesive. But I've always found that the chipboard adhesive is never sticky enough, and I always have to add a little bit of adhesive anyway, so it's no big deal to do that. You also get 8 card bases. So there's 8 here, and they are pre-scored. So you can see that score line. Can you? Yep, right there. Now, my personal preference is a bit heavier weight cardstock for the base of my cards. So I won't be using these for my cards. I have my own pre-made card bases that I do out of 110-pound Nina cardstock. So I'm going to use those instead of the cardstock that's provided in the kit. But that doesn't mean that this has to go to waste. You can use this for die cutting future projects out of white cardstock. So I'll probably cut these in half and add them to my scrap white cardstock, and I'll just use it for die cutting and things like that. So that does come in there though. And then this is one of the sheets of die cuts that you get. So you can see that the pattern papers are already the size of an A2 card. So they're ready to go. You just punch them out of this die cut sheet, and you'll have 4 different bases here, and then you'll have a few strips. And then here is the second one. So 4 more bases, 4 more strips. And then you get 2 sheets of die cuts that you punch out. Sorry. Oh, this one got a bonus one because there's 2 of these. So there is a kit that has 2. So you got extra die cuts, but there are 2 different die cut sheets that you also punch out. And this gives you like ephemera that you can use on your cards. So that is everything that is included in the Simple Stories card kits. So there's lots and lots of stuff in here. Even if you didn't make cards and you like to collect all of this ephemera and chipboard and things like that, maybe you want to add more die cuts to some of the papers that you picked up in this line or whatever. You don't have to use it as a card kit. There's lots and lots of things in here that can be used for just regular crafting as well. And you don't have to follow the patterns that are given to you for the card designs. You can go completely rogue and do your own thing. Either way, it's a great little bundle. So that is what that looks like. Any questions so far? You guys are super quiet. I guess that is the disadvantage of having you craft along with me, is that you don't chat. Linda says she's happy to be here away from talk about nasty weather and nasty current events. Well, I ignore the current events because they're never fun. And the weather's going to happen no matter what you do. So you just kind of have to kind of embrace it and make the best of it. Oh, is that my friend Christina? Is she on here? Hello, Christy. The colors are great. Yes, I do love the colors. And that's something good to mention, Christina, because if you are a Simple Stories fan, all the colors in these card kits are going to work with their Color Vibe cardstock. So if you want to add cardstock or matting or anything like that to your designs, or if you're using this for other things, if you have your swatches organized for the Color Vibe cardstock, then you can match up the colors in this kit and pull out extra cardstock from the Color Vibe collection because it all matches beautifully with this. I mean, not all the colors in the Color Vibe collection will match, but there are colors that are specifically for this. And I believe, let me back up and see, but I believe Shelby has them linked on our online store too. I'm just going to go down. Oh, there we go. I wonder if in the middle of a live stream, I can share my screen. I'm going to try this because it would be very nice. Oh, it's going to let me. Okay, so I'm just going to add this to the stage. There we go. So here is the Take Note card kit on our website. And if you scroll down, you can see right here, these are the colors of Color Vibe cardstock that coordinate with this line. They are suggested by Simple Stories, and Shelby makes sure she uploads them to our website so that it makes for easy shopping when you are looking for papers, cardstock colors that coordinate with the collection. So that is something that is available. And now since I'm sharing my screen, I'm going to go back and show you the other card kits. So this is the, I know it's not super big. I can take myself out of here. No, I can't because then you won't be able to hear me. I did that once before, and that's the one that has the microphone. Okay, let me see if I can change my view. There we go. So if I just move this up, that is the Simple Vintage Junk Drawer card kit. So that's kind of, it has a sort of vintage feel. The top one here in the green, it says a little note to say you're simply wonderful. Let's see if I can make this bigger. Huh. Well, not really. And then the pink one says life is beautiful with you. The blue one across the top says because good friends never go out of style. The yellow one says hello, and I can't quite read the one-line sentiment underneath. And then way over here, the brown one says thinking of you. The teal one says grateful for you. The sort of black one there looks like it says oh my God, loveliest things are tucked between the pages of life. Well, that's cute. And then the bottom one says something about treasure. Sorry, it's not very big on my screen, so I can't really read all the sentiments, but that's what that one looks like. And then the final one that we have in stock right now is this is the baby one. There we go. So this is the Say Cheese Classic Pooh Baby card kit, and you can see how sweet those baby cards are. So those are all available. And I did put the links in the chat, so if you're just coming in, you can scroll back and you can see that. What's Lynn saying? Hello, coming in a little late. Nice bright colors. Looks like a good kit to get your motor going. Oh, yes. And so that's the other thing, too, is these kits are so good just to get, I'm going to remove this now, just to get you crafting. And sometimes that's all you have to do is get in your craft room and make something, and it just kind of sparks your creativity. And I get that sometimes you don't want to be super creative. Well, they have been creative for you, and there's nothing wrong with just making the designs exactly as you see them on the package. And you're going to feel so good about adding 8 cards to your stash. They'll be ready to go. Okay, so now we're going to get crafting. So I'll put this one aside, and I will put it back in the package afterwards. But in the meantime, what I did was I went through and I separated the products based on that instruction sheet that they give you right here. So I just kind of pulled everything and put them into some piles for each card. That way, at least I have all of the suggested supplies together, and it will make it easy. So I have 2 on this tray, and then I have, this is so cool. So if you guys seen these craft stacks, they're amazing. So the lid comes off, and then there's room inside for more. So there's 2 more. Okay. And then I have another one. So that's 4. And here's another one with number 5 and number 6. Christina. Okay. So there's 5 and 6. And then my last tray has 6 and 7. So see how I've got them all kind of organized? Now, the great thing about this is if you are a person who doesn't have large chunks of time to sit and craft, this makes it very easy for you to work on a project. And then if you don't get it finished, you just put it back in here. And then it's in one place, everything's together, and you don't have to worry about losing pieces and things like that. Like I have a lot of things on and off my desk throughout the week, and I often don't complete anything all in one sitting. I also like to take things out to my TV. I have a little lap desk that I work on. And these kinds of things are perfect because you're not really designing, you're just kind of putting things together, and you don't have to think too much. And so you can be with your husband. Your physical body can be with your husband, and your mind can be busy doing something else. So you could be watching TV together. So it could be, you can let him watch hockey because you don't really care what's on there, and you can spend time together. So it's not bad. Linda says, card kits are great when going to a crop. Yes, you can chat and you don't have to think too much. That is 100% perfect. So I'm just going to show that comment because that is a great option. To have these simple card kits ready to take with you. And then you can still chat with your friends and be putting things together, and you can feel like you're being productive. So I love that a lot. And then Smart Alec Christina says, are we taking bets on if you stay on the instructions? Well, I can tell you right now that I'm already straying on one card because I want to try something. And I also want to show you that you don't have to stick with the plan, but you totally can. So I do have to find, oh yeah, it's down here. So the card that jumped out to me the most out of all of these was the one with the camera. So that's the one I'm going to start with. And I'm going to pull this little page up here because it does show me kind of close up. Now, one thing that is a little different for me with these card kits, and this is just a personal thing, just the style of crafting when I make cards, my usual path, is that a lot of them have patterned paper for the background. And I often start with a white base. Sometimes I ink blend a little bit on it. Sometimes I will layer stenciled panels on it. Or if I happen to have a panel of patterned paper, I can add bits and pieces of that. But I don't generally use a full piece of patterned paper for the background. So some of these, when I first look at them, they look a little busy to me. So a way that you can tone them down a bit is to remove that patterned background paper and start with a white panel. Now you can do a little bit of ink blending on here if you want to, to add a little bit of color if you find it a little bit too plain, but it's a good starting point. So I'm going to do this camera one, but I'm going to switch it up a little bit. So we'll come back to this design in a few minutes just to kind of show you where I ended up. But I just thought I would try something a little bit different and see what we come up with. And that's the other great thing about these kits is they can be a starting point or a jump off point for you. If you're crafting away in your craft room or you have your supplies close by, you can run around your room, which I might end up doing, and grab things from your own stash to bring them in. You don't have to stick just to the designs that are shown on the front, but you also can 100% stick to the designs that they've created for you. And that's what makes it so easy to do. So you've got lots of flexibility within the kit. And these kits are about $21.99 for 8 cards. So that works out. Let's see what that's that work out to. $21.99 divided by 8. That's $2.74 a card. So that is very economical. And once you have this, you can keep these pictures as sort of like a sketch or an inspiration starting point for future cards. Maybe you just love the way the products are layered and lined up or laid out on the front of the cards. And you can totally use that just with different elements from things that you might have in your stash. So I think the $21.99 is well worth it, and you get a lot of bang for your buck. Does that make sense? Okay, so what we're going to do is get going here. And I am going to start by kind of following along with the design, but I'm going to start with a white piece of paper. So the card kit wants you to put this along the bottom, And I love it right away. Like that. Oh, there's a little fly. Where did he come from? Did you guys see that? Oh goodness, he's just all over the place. Go away. So I love how that color just pops right off there. I just think that looks great. But the thing I don't love is that edge to edge, I don't have any stitching on this piece. So I am going to add some stitching. So I pulled out the same die that I used to do the white panel, and I'm going to use that on here to create the stitching along the bottom of this. So I'm just going on the edges. I don't really care about top to bottom. No, actually, maybe I should care about that. Okay, I'll move this down just a little bit. And I'm going to tape it into place because I don't want it to move while I'm running it through my die cut machine, because it is the only panel I have. Now, there are extra strip pieces in the kit. You don't use them all. So there's a little bit of flexibility there about, which ones you want to use. So there's extra pieces. So if I did really, really mess this up, I don't have another floral one, but I could use something else. So I'm just going to tape this into place, just lining this up so that it doesn't move while I go through my die cut machine. And then I'm going to get that stitching on the top, like on the bottom line, and then on the two side pieces. And that's going to line up with the panel that I've already cut. And then the other piece that overlaps a little bit is this one. And same thing, I want to make sure that I get the stitching on here. So I am going to line that one up too, and we'll kill two birds with one stone. How about that? Just takes a second here to get this. I can never find the end of my tape. It just disappears. Okay, there we go. So what do you guys think? I love the one with the camera. I think it's going to be really cool. I don't know that I'm going to get all 8 of these cards done in the live tonight, because I'm not a fast crafter. I've disclosed that in the past. And I don't want to rush the process. So this is something that I can finish in my spare time, and I can bring it back and show you all the cards on a future episode. Oops, that moved. So did that. Oh. I could tape this to another piece of paper, but I was hoping this was going to work okay. Get on there. Because sometimes I think you're watching me thinking, wow, she's doing that the hard way. Because I do have a habit of doing just that. If there's a hard way to do something, my brain will take me that direction. Okay, I'm going to quickly run this through before it moves. And then we will have 2 pieces ready to go with stitching on them. And that's just a personal preference detail. It doesn't have to, you don't have to do this by any means, but it's an option just to kind of kick your cards up, and all the little details that you add often do add to your finished design and result, but you don't have to do anything. You can just follow along with the instructions that are provided in the kit. So I'm just going to take this tape off, and what I've done is I've added the stitching to the bottom of the die cut and the sides so that when I put it on my panel here, it's going to line up. And now mine's going to be going in reverse to what is shown in the picture, but that's okay. I'm okay with it. It's called a detour on the path. And I like to take a lot of detours. All right, so I wasn't going to remove this from the die right now, but you know what's going to happen. I am going to need to use the die again, and it will still be in here. So I'm just going to take it out. It's part of the process. And I'm using my trusty tweezers because they are just the best tool ever. So Christine, I know you're making a simple vintage junk drawer version of this. How many cards do you have done? I haven't finished anything yet. She said she was crafting along, And I haven't even done anything. Okay, so now you can see how this perfectly lines up along the bottom of my card with the stitched line. So we're going to go ahead and stick that down. I didn't even get my glue press ready. So Cheryl says, adding little techniques like this takes card kits to takes them to another level. And that is a personal thing. You don't have to level everything up if you don't want to. If you're fine with being on the level that it is created at, that's totally okay. I just like to I like to add stuff. And Christine says she has 2 done. Yeah, well, see. I knew you'd be ahead of me. And this is why I'm not always so productive, because I'm always fussing around with everything. But it's who I am. And it makes me happy. So there we go. So now we've got that panel along the bottom. And next up would be to add this strip of film strip. Now it shows it going this way, but because of how I put it in the die, it's going to go this way, but that's okay too. And I'm going to pull it down so only just a little bit of that floral is showing at the end. And that stitching isn't even going to be at the bottom. So, that's okay. I don't mind that. It could still go this way because you don't even really see that. I think I'm going to do it. I'm making an executive decision. Okay, so we're going to add some glue to this, and I'm going to keep the glue kind of towards the bottom right now. I can add a little bit more afterwards. I just want to make sure that if something has to get tucked in, I can still tuck it in. I do like that the stitching along the side lines up very well. Okay, there we go. Oh, you have a half-hour head start on me. Well, cheater. I was inhaling my McDonald's at that time. We didn't get back until, 6 o'clock. And I knew I was going live at 7. And then my husband says, well, I think we need to get some fuel for the truck and for the sled, so it's ready for next time. And I'm like, right now? So anyways, we did that. And then I said, just go through the drive-thru. So we did. So I have my Coke next to me, which is just fine because that makes me happy. Okay, so the next piece we're going to add is this one here. And it's going to actually, I knew something tucked in. It's going to tuck in right here. And I just want to keep it inside the edge of the white panel. So to position it like that will be perfect. But I'm just going to line a couple other pieces up before I go ahead and commit to sticking that down. Okay, so we've got our camera, which is going to kind of go over here. Now I'm going to pull in a card base because this panel is smaller than a card base. So I still have a little wiggle room outside of that. Okay, so I just want to make sure that camera stays inside the card base so that if I actually want to mail this to someone, it will actually be mailable. So that looks pretty good there. And then I'm coming in with this, which will say picture perfect day. So I think the positioning of this piece back here is good. Now, I'm going to hold it up just to show you that we're going white on white, but the whites look a little different. And I'm okay with that, but I think what I might do is I might do a little, well, we could do 2 things. We could do a little ink blending behind here. And I know there's quite a bit of pink on this card, in the background color, which I am still going to use that, but in a different way. So we could do a little bit of ink blending, which might be kind of fun. Okay, I'm going to do that. So we're going to kind of do some ink blending in this area. And I've already stuck these pieces down, but that's okay. We can just continue to ink blend even with those there. So I'm going to pull out my 1-inch blending brush from Pink Fresh because I want a nice soft blend. And I'm going to grab just a pink color. I'm going to grab Tailored Expressions ink just because it is very close to me. I don't have to walk around my room. And I think that Lollipop will be the perfect pink color. Okay, so it is quite dark, but I'm going to blend very lightly. Now I'm going to grab a, they're stuck together because they're magnetic. There we go. I'm going to grab an ink pad holder. And I'm going to blend a little bit kind of over here. Most of it's going to get covered up, but this is just going to allow some color to show through. So I'm not going out to the edge of the card per se. I'm just going to add a little bit of color. So you can already see that we're adding kind of our own touches to this card that are not part of the kit. We can be creative if we want. Now I'm going to bring in that oval just for placement again. So you can see we've got just a little bit of pink showing in behind there. So I'm going to go a little bit more. And I'm not really adding any more ink to my brush right now. I'm just kind of blending it out so it stays soft. And it's just going to be a tiny little bit. And it's kind of going up into the edge there. That's okay. Okay, so now let's see how we do. Oops. So we're going to tuck that in. And it's going to sit about like that. Perfect. So see, now we've got that little bit of pink that's shining through. I'm just going to bring this back on here just to see kind of what that looks like. And I like that a little bit better. And then my whole plan is to take this panel here and it's going to go behind my white panel. So my white panel is going to sit on there. So see how it kind of ties the pink in a little bit? Isn't that cool? What do you guys think? My daughter came over and is currently out on the porch making ice cream. Well, that sounds yummy. Okay, so I think that I'm okay with that that ink blending. So I'm going to go ahead and stick this piece in, and then that will be put in place. Okay, so that's just going to tuck right in there. Got to watch my word day because I don't want to bury it underneath the film strip. Okay, I'm going to bring up some magnets over here just to put a little pressure on that. And I'm going to clean up this before I end up putting something in there that shouldn't be, because that's what I do. I've learned that about myself. All of a sudden, the things that are supposed to be white are pink. Yeah, the pink is cool, right? It's just soft, and it just kind of pops this panel off. Now, I think that's the last thing that's getting tucked into this panel here. So I am going to go ahead and add a little bit more glue to that panel just along the edge here and stick it down so that it stays in place. And that's going to be perfect. And I mean, even if I'm not following along with the card kit, because I'm not really reading the directions, I'm just kind of doing my own thing. I tend to glue things on loosely with open sides, just because you never know what you might want to tuck or fold or whatever. And it's a good habit to get into. Okay, so now this piece is kind of, I need my card base back again, just because I need to know how far out I can go. So this is going to kind of go like this. And nothing gets layered on top of this, except this might overlap a little bit, but I'm going to pop that up too. So I'm going to use some foam tape on this and pop it up, which is another thing that you can add to your card making to give it a little extra something, is to use foam tape, because it really does add lots of dimension. And again, I'm going to kind of keep it sort of towards, not towards the middle, but I'm going to leave a little space around the outside. I'm not going to move my foam tape so close to the edge that I couldn't tuck something under just a little bit if I wanted to. You can always go in afterwards and tuck a little foam piece under there if you want to, but this way it gives me options. Okay, so I'm happy with that. I'm going to go ahead and stick my camera on. Just have to pull this down to make sure I can get it placed without. I'm going to come down just a little bit more because I need to leave room for a floral piece. Okay, So that's kind of what that looks like. Okay. It's looking great already. And then there is this large floral piece, which is supposed to tuck into here. Now it's already hitting my foam tape. There's another cheater way to do something like that if it happens. I've lost my scissors. Here they are. Just cut these off, because they're going to get tucked in anyways. And that way it allows me to push it in a little bit further and no one will know that you cut anything off. And again, I want to make sure that I'm not going out too far with those leaves, and I plan to put this behind, so that should be perfect. So this one is going to lay flat, but I am not going to take the glue all the way out, because see how these kind of naturally just kind of curl up a little bit? I like the way that that looks. So, oh, there's Amanda. Hello. Are you going to craft with us? So again, I'm just putting my glue kind of like that. I'm leaving all these pieces just, you know, floating around. And the ends are going to hang over this panel just a little bit. That's okay. So there's that. And then this piece here is going to go kind of across here, but I'm going to pop that up as well. And it's going to overlap this. Now I know nothing else is going under there, and that's sagging a little bit. So I'm going to add some foam tape to that just so that it's supported. Now, if you guys do not work off of a roll of foam tape, I think you're missing the boat, because this just gives you so much flexibility about how much foam tape you actually use. If you're using squares and like, you know, circles and things like that, you have to use so many of them. And it's just nice to be able to cut just a really thin piece, or you can make your own square and be able to tuck the tape in where you want it and give your card elements the support that they need without being limited to the little squares and dots. I just find the rolls of tape, and they last so long. Okay, so now we're going to put a little foam tape on this. So you might spend a little bit more at the beginning, but they're so economical. Like, you'll be using the same roll forever. I took I was crafting last weekend at a friend's, and I took a new roll because look at mine's getting low. I made 36 cards, and I look at all the stuff I still have left. It's crazy. And no, nobody likes a sagging card. Not at all. So I'm keeping my foam adhesive to this end because this is already raised up. So I'm just going to put a little dab of glue there, and that'll be perfect. So I can remove that. And then I'm just going to add some adhesive here. And I'm going to use my tweezers to get my hands out of the way here. And then I'm just going to place this. Wow, my hand is shaking. Just kind of like that. There we go. Well, that just looks great. Okay, so see how that kind of comes together? Isn't that cute? Yes, it is, Brenda. It is a kit. So if you scroll back in the comments, I did put some links here. I'll share my screen once more. I know we've got some extra people on. So I'll share my screen. I'll go back. I am working with the Take Note card kit from Simple Stories. So that is the card kit I'm working with. I'm still making my first card. We did have a big discussion at the beginning about the kits and all that. So you might want to go back and watch this on replay, but I'm using this kit, and we do have two others from different collections in Simple Stories available as well. And they are just so fun. And I'm kind of doing my own thing with it. The original card, the background was supposed to be this. I thought it was too busy, so I kind of went like this. But isn't this a fun card? It's so cute. Okay, and then we have a couple more elements to put on here. So this floral piece, this chipboard piece, is designed to go right here. And I love that. So I'm also going to pop that up. And I mean, guys, this is just chipboard and cardstock ephemera. And this card is going to be amazing. I'm very much liking it. The camera one was the first one that jumped out at me. I thought, oh, I think that's going to be fun. Wishing you a picture perfect day could be your birthday. Now, if you want to really personalize this card, you could print out little photos and put them in here. That would be really fun. So this is kind of going to go right like this. Or we can go like this. I think I like this better. There we go. So there's that. And then it does have the happy birthday word at the bottom like this, a chipboard word, which I also think is very cool. So we'll add a little more foam adhesive. Yes, Susan, I had to change my day. I did send out an email this morning and the date was for today, but that's okay. Don't worry about being late. I haven't created a whole lot yet. I'm working with the Simple Stories Take Note card kit, and it is fabulous. I really like it. And again, this is not the typical style of card that I usually make, but just as much fun and very relaxing because a lot of the design work is kind of already done. You don't have to think about everything. You can make it more complicated if you want to by adding extra things and doing fun stuff. And then I'm going to put one little heart right here, but I'm not going to pop that up because I don't want to get too much dimension and the camera is already popped up. So we're just going to stick some glue on that. And then I'm going to go this way. There we go. Now this is a black and white camera. You could easily pull out some markers. Oh, I didn't switch the screen. I'm sorry. Let's remove this. Sorry about that, guys. What brand of tape is this? Oh, I'm using the Altenew foam tape right now, but I have Scotch as well. Both of those are great. And we also carry the scrapbook adhesives. Scrapbook adhesives is a good tape, but of the three of them, that's my least favorite one. It's just not quite as nice to work with, but either the Altenew one or the Scotch one are amazing. And like I said, you spend a little bit more money now, but it will pay back 1,000 times over. So what height is it? So this one is the 1/2 inch by 1/8. Yeah, which is kind of your standard pop-up size. And I think that works really good. Okay, so there is kind of my finished card. So let's get a base in here. And I'm going to pop it on here. But rather than just go like that, I'm going to still incorporate this piece. And I'm going to put it behind there. And then that's going to go on there. So that's going to add a bit of color. Now, I think I might trim it down just a smidge. And then we're still going to see a bit of that white card base, which I like to do. This is fun. I'm quite enjoying this. And that is, I'm not going to lie, a little bit of a surprise for me because I usually, use stamps and dies all the time when I'm creating my cards. And this is quite refreshing. So I really wanted to share the kits with you guys, but I'm also a little bit surprised at how much I'm enjoying it. So it's kind of fun. So now this piece will go on there, and it's just a tiny bit of color, which I really like. And this is just card number 1, guys. There's 8 cards in this kit, and you can personalize them all just a little bit if you want, like just by doing your own thing, or you can stick very closely to the plan that has been given to you on the cover sheet and the instruction sheet. And they'll come together beautifully. But this is really cute. And then we just have to mount that onto the card base, and we are done. Card number 1. All right. So, and this is a horizontal card. They have both horizontal designs and vertical designs in the package. Okay, so I'm just going to pop some magnets on that just to let that set up just a bit before I move that. So what do you think of card number 1? Really cute and super quick. Well, super quick for me anyway. Because that would normally take me about 3 hours to make one card design. I mean, I'm slow. Sorry, I'm just grabbing a drink. But isn't that cute? Okay, so there is card number 1. Now I'm going to bring back the picture from the page kit. So here is the design that they suggested. And here's my design. Not a whole lot different. I just removed that pink polka dot background and started with a white instead. But that is the finished design. Isn't that cute? Like, I just love it. Like, would you be happy if I sent this to you? Now, we haven't even added any bling. So I pulled out a couple of different things. So this is my trusty bin of like neutrals, which I go to a lot. And I just thought maybe something for the center of that flower would be cute. I mean, you could even do something small in the other ones. You could even pull out some stickles or some glossy accents or anything like that. You could do that too. But I think I'm just going to add just some, basic gems just to add a little extra. Now let's just see. Sometimes I like these. Let's just see if they're a bit much or if they're good. Because you can just kind of add. I just bumped the camera. Sorry, guys. Sometimes I try to stick my head in there and I hit the camera. And then it wiggles. And you don't have to make... it's the thing with these. They're a little bit heavier, so the wax doesn't want to pick it up. Okay, so let's just see about adding a few little gems. Oh, goodness. I mean, you don't have to go crazy. I mean, that's not bad, right? That's just like that. It's just a couple little things, nothing too crazy. So then we can just add a little bit of glue and pop these down. So these little gems are from Pink Fresh. I don't remember which ones they are, but sometimes they're a little heavy and hard to pick up with the wax tips. But I love them. The big ones aren't too bad to... see, I just dropped it. There we go. The little ones are easier. Here we go. So now, completely done. Cute, right? I love it. Okay, so that's card number 1. Now, let's look at the diagram, and you guys maybe can pick the next card. So let's just have a look here, and we'll take some votes, and we'll see which card you want me to work on next. Let's get some of this stuff out of the way. I only made one card, and my desk is a disaster. Okay, so just shout out in the comments which one you would like to see me work on next. And then I can see what I can do. I'll just tidy up some of my supplies here while you're doing that. And then things won't be such a disaster. What do we think? Just a reminder that you're amazing. Okay, which one's that? Oh, with the tag. Well, see, you know me because I love a tag. Okay, that's a good one. Anybody else have any suggestions? Your story. Which one is that one? Oh, with the typewriter. That's a cute one too. The heart one. Yep, with the clipboard. Yep. Okay, you guys are all picking different ones. Okay, well, Susan was quick on the keyboard, so we're going to do the one with the tag first, and then hopefully we'll have time to do another one. So I got to find the one with the tag. Gotta look through my little containers. There's the heart one, which I think is going to be really cute. Okay, that's the one with the banner. For story. Oh, here it is. Okay, so here is the one with the tag. Now, again, this one has a patterned background, which is fine. But I just want to see. I've got another base kind of done here. This one has a little bit of a scalloped edge. So I'm just going to play around a little bit here and just see what we might be able to do. So this is a piece that you layer on. It's got like a little scallop border, so we could put that at the bottom. I'm just going to kind of, sketch this out and see if we didn't use the one provided. So there's the tag. And the tag is off to the side a little bit. Okay, so we're going to move that over. Now, by using the other bases, like the ones that I cut out, it also shrinks the workspace that you have too. So you have to keep that in mind when you're placing things. If you're using the full A2 piece, then you have more space. So we just have to make sure that this is all still going to fit okay. Now, I find it's okay if it hangs over my scalloped piece just a little bit because I still have my card base and so on. Oh, this is going to be cute. Okay, so that's that one. And then we've got amazing going along the bottom. And we're going to have a couple of little hearts at the top of the tag here. Perfect. Okay. I think for me, I am going to, this one will go here. So I think for me, I'm going to start with this scalloped piece here. And again, we have the option of layering it on top of this panel when we're done, which I think looks really good. It just tones your background down a little bit, but it gives you the pattern going around the outside, which I quite like. So I think this is the direction I'm going to go. And I am going to pull out, and I like raising this up here a bit, this panel, this with the scallops, because, and you know what? I'm not even going to trim it. I'm going to let it go edge to edge outside of my scallop because I think that looks really cool as well. What do you guys think? You like the white? It does make the tag pop. I think, again, just for my personal taste, I find working right on the pattern paper with all of the die cuts, it's just a little bit too busy for me. And I feel like this just tones it down a bit. Now, I do have another idea. Again, bringing in things that I like to use quite often because we're working with a tag. I do enjoy a tag topper on my tags. So I'm going to grab a couple that I have. So these are from Tailored Expressions. They're the tag reinforcements. I'm not sure if we have those in stock right now. I know I just ordered more. We're waiting for 2 massive shipments to come in from Tailored. And I'm just going to take a quick look on our website here and see if we have these in stock yet. Some things have arrived. Oh, we do. Okay. So I'll share my screen. This is what those tag reinforcements look like. I'll just click on this and maybe we can make it a bit bigger. There we go. So they're just really nice to use on the tops of tags. It just kind of dresses them up. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. And just, again, adds a little layer of dimension. And it also allows you to add some thread and fun things to them. So I will put the link in the comments. And you can see those. I do use these quite frequently. They are one of my favorites for sure. The other thing you could do, if you really want to get crazy, is I have tag dies that I really enjoy from Tailored as well. And they have piercing on them, which would dress up your tag just a wee bit. But I'm going to just see what this fits in like. So this one's too big. Maybe the next size down. One moment. Just going to see if this will work. And I'm just giving you ideas on how you can add little details to things that you have that that just add to the look of the card. So this is the die. The question is this tag going to fit and give you the detail? So it does mostly, except for the top. Do you see that? Oops, no, you can't see because I got that up there. Remove. Here we go. So I've got the die out and you can see that it doesn't quite line up at the top. I could go with one smaller, but it's going to make the tag small. I'll just see how much smaller that is. It might be okay. I also have plain dies, but the idea with this one is that it would give you piercing detail on this tag, in this tag. So here is one that I could put. Oh my gosh, I think that one might work perfectly. Now that's going to make the tag a little bit smaller, but I think, again, because we're working on a smaller canvas, it might just work. So you could take this and cut your tag out using that. Let's do it. Let's just see for fun. So I'm just making sure that my words don't get cut off. And also the top of the tag. I think I'm going to go up just a smidge more. I want to use as much of the top of the tag as I can. Okay. So we'll tape that into place. And I'm going to run that through my die cut machine. And while I'm running this through, I'm also going to cut a couple of tag reinforcements out of, they have craft at the top there. Oops, did that move? Nope, I think that's good. I'm also going to do craft. So I'm just going to grab a little scrap of craft paper. And I have my scrap bin all organized now, so I won't have a problem finding craft. Do you remember we did that giveaway of all of the folders? Well, all my craft is right there. And so now I have a piece of craft. So I'm going to run these 2 tag toppers through. These are the larger ones along with this die. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. And then we're going to test it out and see how we like it. This is why Christine is going to have her cards all done. And I'm still going to be on card number 2. And I can't say I'm having more fun than she is because, you know, she's probably having a great time. She'll be on to the baby kit from Winnie the Pooh before I'll even be done this one. But I'm seriously thinking of adding that baby one to my stash of stuff too, because I need some baby cards and these are really cute. And I just think they would be really fun to have. Okay, so here's my 2 tag toppers. So I'm going to put them there. Oh, and look at my cute tag now. See how it's got the piercing on it? So that worked out really good. And then my tag topper, I'm hoping will work out. Oh, perfect. And then my tag topper is going to go on like that. Okay, well, that worked out really good. So we'll just pop the center out of that. Okay, so let's assemble our tag. So you simply just, when you cut this out, both of the large ones, see how it gives you that little score line there? That's where you're going to fold it in half and it just goes over the top of your tag. So this one worked perfectly. So I'm just going to put a little adhesive on both sides. And I usually try to, you know, find the center point there and then just fold down. I'm really only concerned with the front. So the whole lines up pretty close, but by the time we get thread and stuff in there, it'll be perfect. Okay, so that's that. Now I'm going to stick down some of these elements here because I want them to be in place. I'm going to trim this down just a smidge again because I like to have a little bit of the white card base showing. So let's just see here. I'm going to start with, if I go to 4, what's that going to look like? Perfect. So I'm just going to go a smidge more than 4. And then this, I'm going to go a smidge more. Okay. So this is going to get stuck to this. So see how you can see the background through there. And then this is going to get stuck to this, which allows the card base to show through. So you've got 3 layers now, which I love. You still would have had 3 layers even if you didn't trim the background down, but this way it actually shows all 3 layers. So I think that looks really good. So now I'm going to go ahead and stick this to our patterned piece. Like so. Just kind of lining that up a bit. So the polka dots don't show too much on the patterned paper there, but that sort of grid paper really does show nicely. And I like that it's actually 2 different colors, so that looks really good. Okay, so that's that piece. Then we're going to attach this, which again, I'm going to go edge to edge. So I do have to trim this down just a little bit. I'm going to make a mark. Maybe I don't need to. Let's just try that and see. Do we want it to go all the way across the whole card? That's not bad either. Okay, we're doing it. Okay. Okay. You guys are awful quiet. Okay, and then I am going to put this piece on, and it's going to go from one edge of the card to the other, which I like. And it kind of breaks up the background a little bit. But I'm not going too high. Perfect. Okay. So then our tag is going to go here. And I want that to come up high enough that we don't have too much space at the top. Move it over because our little vase is going to go here. And see how the top of the flowers just nest right in there by the words that are a little bit shorter there. And then the whole idea is, well, this should maybe overlap a little bit more. So let's pull this in a bit. Pull this in a little bit, kind of like that. Just don't want to cover up my words. And then this is going to go across here, like so. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. So my tag is going to be flat. So we're going to go put that on first. And again, just leaving a little bit around the edge in case I want to tuck something in. I don't think I'm going to, but you never know. So I'm just placing that just above that blue scallop. Just making sure it's straight before I stick it down. And then I am going to put some foam adhesive on top of the, or on the back of the vase. Foam adhesive, where did I put that? Underneath my trimmer. Okay. Angie's eating ice cream. Christina's finishing up sample cards. Excellent. Catching snippets of your video in between moving stuff from the basement up to the family room. Well, that's okay. Do what you got to do. And I do think these cards are super cute. I can't find my scissors because I put them away. I shouldn't clean up between cards. Okay, so again, I'm just, you know what? Nothing's going underneath this vase. So I don't want it to sag. Okay, so I'm just going to give you an example of why this foam tape is so great. So like you can see that I've got all these pieces I just put on there really easy. I'm going to cut a little piece and then I'm going to trim it to the size I want so that I can put it on these pieces that kind of stick out because I want to support those without using too much tape. There, perfect. So that's going to support that vase really nicely. Okay, so now this is just going to sit like so. I just don't want to cover up that tea. So I think that's good. So we're going to go ahead and stick that on. Yeah, I swear by rolls of foam tape. I never used to use them. I used to use the little foam squares and the little foam circles, and I would cut my bigger squares into smaller squares if I needed to. But then Christina really inspired me to use the big rolls because she used them all the time. And I'm like, I got to try this and I will never go back. All right, so let's place this just like so. So it's just along the edge of that tag. And then this is going to go across there like so. So it's going to need a little support over this part. Oh, fussy cutting. Yeah, see, that's another thing I don't do a lot of, but it's good to try new things. I should try more of that. I didn't think I'd ever be using a card kit, and here I am, and I'm really enjoying it. Because I have so many supplies, I thought, well, what do I need a card kit for? But I think I do need one. I might need more than one. Okay, and that's going to kind of go across there like so. Just like that. So I can put glue here because that's the part that's going to overlap the vase or jar or whatever you want to call that. Vase, vase, jar. There, I've covered all of the angles. And we are just going to go ahead and place this just like that. Okay, and then we have this little cluster of flowers there. And then we have a couple of hearts that we can place. I think I'll go like one here even. And one here. That looks cute. And then, of course, we're going to put something in the top there. So let's get this put down. I'm going to use foam tape on that. Company just dropped in. Oh, Cheryl, what the heck? Tell them to go away. Okay. So when I have a little piece left over like this, I just stick it to the side and then I will use that afterwards because I'm not going to pop these up. They are already chipboard, so we don't need to pop that up. Okay. And now I'm just going to grab a little bit of black and white twine. I think that will look really cool. Let's see. Oh. Because there's black in the writing and black in the doodling here, I think the black and white will work really well. So how am I going to do this twine? I'm going to cut a piece. So I have 2 pieces of twine. I think I'm going to just try this first and see. So I'm just shoving it through that hole. It'll come up the back. And then, perfect. I just have a little idea here. So that gives me the fringe, which I will trim down, but I'm just going to try something else. I don't know if this will be too tricky, especially live, but I'm actually going to feed some through here. Oh, come on. There we go. So that's going to be kind of under here. Let's pull that tight. See if I can tie a bow. Yeah, it's going to give me some grief, but we'll see. It might even be too much. I'm going on my own little journey here. Sometimes things don't work out quite the way you think they're gonna, so you have to try them and see, but it might be too busy. It might just not look quite right, but I'm going to give it a whirl because I just want to see. Not too bad. Let's get this a little tighter. Sorry, my hands are probably in the way and you're not seeing very well what I'm doing, but just going to see if this looks okay. It's kind of cute. Okay. I think that's good. Okay, so we've got a little bow there. And then I'm going to trim off my... Here we go. So we've got our little fringe and we got our little bow. I don't know, that might be too much. I might take the fringe off and just go with the bow. But we'll see for now. The bow might go all together. I think the bow is going to go. We'll save that for another card. And we're just going to go with this. That's just so cute. Look at that. Okay, and then I'm just going to pull in a couple of gems, and then this one will be done. And I'm going to go with my trusty Gina K ones this time. They're always a favorite. And I'm just going to pull some on here and see what they look like. And I'm just going to scatter them around. I'm not going in any particular... I don't think I need that one. So this just adds a little something. There we go. What do you guys think? I think that turned out pretty good, I have to say. So what are we at now? 1 hour and 18. Yeah, I'm probably not going to get many more than 2 done here. But it gives you a good idea. And I will work away on the rest. And see what we can come up with. Let's just see here. Okay, I'm going to bring in the other card that I did. Well, first we'll show you the original here. So the original is over here. So here is their design, and here is mine. So I'll just hold that up a little closer so you can see. I used all the elements from the original card. I added a couple of little things. I just switched up how I used them and ended up with this. So there's card 2. Here's card 1. I just think these are turning out so good. What do you think, Susan? How did it turn out? The way you thought? That is just awesome. Okay, so if I was going to pick another one, I love this just a note one. I think that's really cute. So maybe that'll be the next one that I work on. But I think I'm going to do that off screen. We're at 1 hour and 20 minutes, which I think is good. Perfect. I know. I just think they're so great. I've surprised myself, guys. I really have. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I love the idea of the card kits. It's just not something that I personally grab for all the time. Just because I tend to use the things that I have in my stash that I buy and collect and use. And but it's pretty amazing what you can do with a card kit. So again, I'll just pull my screen up here for a second. So this is the Take Note card kit, which is what I am working with here. I've done 2 out of 8 cards. I will post them when I'm done, 100%. I still have to post the cards from last week. I just haven't had a chance to do that. Things are a little crazy around here right now. Transitioning the store from its current location to its new location is going to be a little extra work on top of all the things that we already do. So it just makes things a little more crazy, but we're getting there. It's coming along, and yeah. But I will post them for sure when I get them all done. I might move out to the couch and fiddle away on some of these. But that is the card kit we're using. And then there are also a couple of others available. There's the simple vintage junk drawer is also another one that we have in stock right now. So if you like a little bit more vintagey look, it's very, very nice. Very similar concept to one we're working on tonight. And then they also have, we also have the baby one, the Winnie the Pooh baby one from the Say Cheese Classic Pooh Baby Collection. And oh my gosh, I'm seriously thinking of getting this one for myself because I need some baby cards. I would have 8 baby cards when I was done, which is fabulous. Angie says, been thinking about these kits to make cards with my granddaughters. Oh, so fun. Because you don't have to pull everything out and make a big mess. You can go strictly off of what is designed for you, or you can add just a couple of little things like you see me doing here. A little at a time, switch out your backgrounds, but still use the same products, and they're turning out really, really nice. And there's lots of dimension. I'll just hold this up. I don't know if the camera will show you, but see how it's popped up? Like there's lots of different layers and things that are going on that really make it look pretty awesome. I would be very happy if someone was to send me a card like this. It'd just be perfect. So yeah. All right. Well, that's it for me, guys. I'm going to sign off for tonight. And we will catch you on the next one. Have a good night.